Hi guys, it's Ebony and welcome back to the Real Play Podcast.
This is Ciera. What's going on, everybody? How are y'all doing out there, our listeners?
Yes, and today is going to be a great episode. We're going to talk about the price of hustling. In 2021, we all got the sit down, slow down, pretty much. I know you guys heard this little TikTok meme. Have you heard it where it says, all right, when 2021 come in, we're going to walk in silently, don't touch nothing. So we've all got the sit down, learn to be still in 2020. So we want to talk about hustling and what that looks like in this culture. And, if you're going to hustle, what you're going to need when you hustle and what that looks like. But first, we want to start off with the definition of hustling. Now, I'm going to say this before I start. I'm bad with accents, so this is a Dutch word, and it's hustling. It's Husselen, and it means to shake or to toss. Over time, they've expanded the word to mean to hurry or to obtain by begging. Obtain by begging is a little, we can talk about that later. But to shake or to toss is an interesting connotation to the word hustle. If you think about it, I've never thought about, to shake or to toss. You can shake something off like by hustling.
Yeah, I don't know really where they were going with that.
But we're going to take it
up your
as
world.
You said what?
So you kind of shake up your world. Like
yes,
when you're doing a whole lot and you're not stopping. Maybe that's where they were going. I don't know.
Shake some ish up. Yes. And then also so we'll take the definition to hurry, to do something in haste. We'll take that as a definition. And then I want to kind of give my own little spin on what I think hustling is. I feel like you can hustle in many different ways. If you have a 9-to-5 and you're going to your 9-to-5 every day, that can be a hustle. If you are a first generation college graduate or a college student and you're having to learn a new way of life and with no help, that is hustling. If you are a parent and having to hustle to put food on the table and pay for a daycare because it is expensive, then you are hustling. So hustling can look and be in many different forms.
Right.
So let's start by talking about the ups and the downs of hustling. First, I want to start with loneliness. Oh my God. So I think that when you are working towards a goal, let's say that's our point for hustling right now. We're working towards a goal, right? When you are in it and it is your purpose and it's a clear vision that you have and that's all you think about, it gets pretty lonely because you have to have tunnel vision and start only doing whatever that goal is, those steps to reach that goal. And oftentimes with that, no one can tell you the steps to take and how to take them. And even if, unfortunately, sometimes in the Black community, when you know someone who has been down the same path, sometimes they are unwilling to assist you in making your goal. Not all the time, but just sometimes. And I want to bring up that just be prepared. If you're going to hustle, you might end up in a place of loneliness because, they say it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top. And I want to also preface this by saying for hustling, for me purposely, if I say the word correctly, for me, I feel like with hustling, either you got it or you don't. Either you hustle or you won't. And it's fine if you don't. We'll talk about that later. But another thing that comes along with hustling is tiredness. And so that no sleep culture. And I think it's very important. Like, who came up with that? Team no sleep? I like sleep. I like naps.
Yeah, I don't take naps, but I like my sleep. So
I haven't taken naps in a long time, but I will take a nap. I believe in naps. I believe in sleeping. Sleep. I don't know if people know this, but there's so many things that sleep is good for. And you also, if you're sleep deprived, you're not healthy. And so you should be trying to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I know it's unrealistic for some people, but and this is not my point, but I don't know why I feel like saying this here. But if you need to get an alarm clock, get an alarm clock. You know, set a set time. We'll talk about this later, to go to sleep and to wake up. But so being tired, um don't let people make you think that you can't sleep because you have to meet this goal. And sometimes also, don't be having unrealistic expectations. Like, looking at Instagram and looking at social media will make you think that your life is supposed to be a certain way and everybody has their own journey. I think it's very important to not look at someone else's life as the grass is greener on the other side, because it's not always.
I definitely think that's important to point out, because I can scroll right now on my Instagram, and within the first 2 or 3 scrolls, or whatever you want to say, I'm going to see somebody talking about, oh, I left my job and I'm making this money, or, oh, this is how you can make some money on the side, or, oh, this and this, and, you know, try this, try that, be your own brand ambassador. And it's like, all right, I get it. All y'all are doing great.
Yes. Or are
on on the platform they're showing. They're doing great on that. Are they really doing great in real life? No, I'm not going to say no, but it's not as glamorous as what they're showing. They're showing you the fruits of their labor, but all of the labor that goes into it, it may not be what you're able to do. And that's okay. You may not have that much drive. And again, you don't have to. You don't have to feel like you're less than something because you're looking on social media and you see everybody else is grinding it out with like 3, 4, 5 jobs and hustling all day, every day, making money, flipping this, flipping that. You don't have to do that. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Correct. And shout out to one of my old coworkers / friend. She watches the podcast, but we had a recent conversation where we were talking about, she always asks me like, hey, Ebony, like, what goals have you planned? Have you done your vision board for the year? Because I always do one. And she was like, you know, are you going to have something, like, you're going to talk about vision boards? She was like, you're pretty good at that. She was like, but I don't have any goals. Like, I don't have anything that I necessarily aspire to. And I told her same thing that you said, like, that's perfectly fine. Everyone is different and everybody is fueled for different reasons, right? In different ways. I am fueled by learning and knowledge, and things that happen in my childhood fuels me to want to do and make goals and see certain things, where someone else is like, I'm cool with the way my life is right now as is. And that's perfectly fine. Or maybe they're saying, okay, well, I only have like 3 real goals for real, and once I reach those, you know, I'm good. That's okay too.
Right.
I think, you know, the point you and I are both trying to make is like, have your own set of expectations. Don't live by someone else's creed. And but if you're gonna try to leave your 9 to 5 or do some on the side, listen to this podcast, because you're gonna need some of the things that we talk about. Another thing that comes with the price of hustling is missing out on family events. So you're not able, and with friends, so you're not able to hang out with friends as much. You're not able to hang out with family. Your memories won't be that good either, because you won't have any if you spend your time always in a book.
No memories.
None. And so I think it's very important as you are hustling, and I'll talk about this later, is to kind of reevaluate, you know, why you are doing what you're doing, and making sure that your life is a certain standard that you want to have at that point in time, because it changes. So is there any like prices of hustling that you could think of outside of what we already mentioned?
No, not really. I think the biggest one would be kind of feeling as though you're missing out. But sometimes people who
Mhm.
are really in that hustle mode, sometimes they know how to do really good time management
Mhm.
and they don't feel as though they're missing out. Other times they may be like, hey, I don't really have a whole lot of friends and I don't really care if I have these memories with my family. So to them, they may not feel as though they're missing out. So I do think that the amount of time you put in if you're really trying to hustle. So hustle is like a weird word for me. The more we say, I'm just like, are we really talking about hustling? And then I've got Jay. Is it not Jay-Z? Whose song is it? I'm a hustler.
Cassidy,
Yes, Cassidy.
I'm a
That song is stuck in my head right now because I don't usually say the word. And so when I hear it, I think of a song. But I think that we've come to a point where a lot of people think it's super cool to have all these things going on and they don't see anything wrong
Mhm.
with it. They see being busy as cool. Being busy is like the end thing to do. So I can't think of any real big cons
Busy
outside
isn't
of
always productive too.
right. It's
So a lot of
absolutely not.
it's not always productive, and also I want to bring up the point that even if you do hustle, let's say you get all the steps you think you're supposed to have down, right? That does
Mhm.
not mean you will still reach your goal at the end of the day, unfortunately.
Right.
So have to be also be realistic. So that's another price of the hustle. You can spend all this time, waste all this money, and it still not turn out the way you want it to.
Hmm.
It's just reality. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. Um, Trying to think about one more price of hustling that I can really um, think of. Hmm. Can't
Yeah.
think of anything else right now.
Yeah, I'm about
So
to say I think you kind of hit most of them, most of the big ones that are common. Other things might be like little things here and there based off of what the person is doing.
yeah. So another thing I want to talk about is before I go into like what you need if you are going to hustle, I want to talk about how we as a community have like hustled our whole lives and how it's almost innate for us to do that. Like, in slavery, we work for someone else and well, work is subjective, but I'll use it for the lack of better words. We work for someone else without pay, and we still had to um, have some self confidence, something about ourselves. So we made sure we were still taking care of our own home, and we made sure that we had the best meals we could have at that time. So we took scraps and we made it out of something. And I think to that point, we as a community have always been taking scraps and making something out of it. And so we're used to, you know, rising to the challenge and the occasion and always helping out and being present and making sure that um, we push society forward, our community forward, and just trying to be a better people. So
I
I
think
do want to bring that up. There's Go ahead.
no, 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 go. You were about to say something.
I was saying there's specific points that I want to bring up, like how we got out of slavery and then we created our own banks, created our own grocery stores. We created um, something from nothing. Now they burned it down, but that's besides the point. We have always had this hustle spirit, and we can interchange hustle for go getter, for creator spirit, right?
Hmm.
In those.
Yes. But the one thing that I was thinking about as you were talking, like, yes, it's like in our blood to be resourceful, to go out and go above and beyond to get what we want,
Mhm.
how what by any means necessary. But what do
Yes.
you think that does to the psyche right now of individuals, especially the Black woman who feels like she's got the whole world on her shoulders all the time because she sees mama and them, grandma and them have always done any and everything, broke their backs for their families. And she feels like, yo, I can't, I mean, I can never live up to that, but I can try my darndest. Like it almost becomes negative in a way, because
Mhm.
you start to make someone think that they have to go so hard in the paint where it causes them sicknesses and, other issues when you're worrying about things that you can't even control.
Yeah.
So that's one thing about hustle. Was hustle culture.
Mhm.
And once it gets brought down from generation to generation, you got little kids that out here hustling and doing all this stuff for the family when they really
Yeah.
should just be kids. And that's one thing that I am thankful that my parents did for me growing up. I wasn't allowed to get my first job until my junior year in high school. And was it my senior year? Sorry. I had just torn my ACL. It was my senior year in high school, and I worked at the mall, and then I worked at the community college because I got out of school early, the half
Mhm.
days as a senior. Got out of school early, went to the community college, and I was in registration. But then when I got to college, they're like, nope, your job again is not to go to work. Your job is to go to school and get good grades. So they taught me I don't have to work myself super hard throughout my whole life, because they're there to help me too. And some people don't have that. Some kids are,
Dying.
they're out there working at 13 or 12 or however 14, whenever you can first get your job.
Mhm.
And it's not because they want the independence, because I wanted to work at the mall because I wanted something to do. Basketball season was over. Like I wanted a discount on clothes. I worked at a clothing store. But some of these kids have to work because their parents need them to pay the bills,
Yeah.
and they got to drop out of high school because they got to watch the kids in them. And I think that robs not only that individual, but all of the generations behind that individual, because they're likely going to have the same thing pushed down on their kids that's pushed down on their kids. And so hustling has its good things and its bad things,
Does
especially.
while you were talking, I was thinking about myself, and I was one of those kids who, I had to work through college. I had a regular job, I had a work study job, and then wherever I could make money here and there, I did. And so
Was it for you to pay for your tuition, or was it for something else?
the job.
Yes, the jobs while you were in
Oh,
college.
yeah, to pay for tuition, to pay for clothes, to pay. I was supporting myself basically through college. There was no money given to me from my parents. Um, my dad was, I think he gave me like $100. I had $100 starting off with school when I was dropped off, and he would. I would say this. When he was able to give me money, like as far as like Christmas, if I got a Christmas gift, my Christmas gift, that money would I would take that money and use it for school.
Mm.
So, but other than that, like it was on me um to get it, hustle and make it, and be able to still live. I was stressed out. Honestly, money was my big stressor in school. Now, my siblings are a little different because by the time they came along, there was more money. And so my dad was able to be like, hey, you go to school and don't worry about anything. But it's just, you first generation going to college, you just do what you have to do. But I will say, to that point, it made me very strong, and it made me feel like I mean, if you anybody who's watching this who really, really knows me, like I'm always learning, I'm always trying to push myself, I'm always growing, I'm always got like 10,000 things going on at work. No matter what job I've ever had, I've always like been the one learning the most at my job, jumping positions because I got to be the best at everything. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy. I don't necessarily know how to stop it and turn it off, but you made me think about, like, when I have kids, what I'm going to also teach them to be able to do as well. So um, I think some of it is innate and I won't be able to get rid of. Some of it I need. Um, but at a certain point, not right now, but at a certain point, I aspire to reach a level where I don't feel like I would have to go at such a high level anymore. Go ahead.
Why not right now?
Huh?
Why not right now?
I'm not at the place I want to be. I want so much more. And so not right now. Like once so honestly, because I've been broke before and I need my bank account to be at a certain number. I need to be debt free of these student loans. Like I need to, I don't have a house yet. I would like a new car. Like I have so many things that I aspire to have. And until my life really looks the way I want it to look, I'm going to still be, or until like I can give, or someone can ask me for money and I'm not like, yeah, I would, but I'm the type of person, like if I give somebody money, it's really a gift because I don't, I believe in,
Yeah.
if you're gonna give somebody something,
Don't expect it back.
don't
My dad
expect that,
always
because
taught
9
me
times out of
that.
10 they don't pay it back.
Right.
So, so until I can reach that point, um, you know, I'm gonna keep striving to be better. And
So, since we're on you now, I'm interested.
oh God.
So, all right, so you're not where you want to be yet financially. Um, so what are you doing to improve that? Like what's your hustle culture activities that you're doing to get you closer to that goal?
Okay. So I will say that I am learning as much as I can in my 9 to 5. I believe in keeping um, your 9 to 5 pretty much as long as you can, or forever if you want to, because from
Mhm.
what I've learned, entrepreneurship is hard. It's not easy, and you're not gonna make money on the first day. So that. Two, I am working towards, instead of hustling just to hustle, I'm working towards trying to build a legacy. And so I'm launching my blog soon, and so hopefully that'll eventually bring an additional income. Um, I am also learning more about myself. So my triggers, my pain points, things that I can change. So I think with that comes, you're able to grow to a different level. So instead of like keep hitting these roadblocks and
Mhm.
um, what I'm trying to say, that I can bypass some things. I am also trying to work through, just things with friends, things with family. Um, so to me, that is also hustling, because that takes a different strength that
Mhm.
I'm definitely not used to. I am also just thinking forward and saying, like, how much money do I need to save? How much money I need to have
Mhm.
in my bank account? How can I start paying off my student loans as efficiently as possible and as less as possible?
I'm trying not to like while our president is working on his little thing,
Mhm.
I'm like, dang, I feel like I need to stop paying because I don't want to pay. I want to keep paying, and he gonna just like, be like, all right, sis, you
Right.
good. Like,
Right. To be honest, I only pay on one right now. So I'm just trying to save. And when the other ones hit back, um,
like, come through, Mr. President. Okay,
yes.
for all the student
Please
loan people
wipe my
out there.
student loans off. I got a plead case and everything. So that's somewhat of what my life looks like,
Mhm.
trying to hustle. I mean, there is things that I do day in and day out. And I do want to talk about, like, if you are going to hustle, what your life needs to look like as you hustle, because that's a different beast in itself. Um, so number one, you mentioned this earlier, but time management. Like I feel like you have to manage your time well. Sometimes I'm great
Mhm.
at it. Sometimes I'm horrible at it.
Mhm.
I realized when I moved here that time management was something that I needed to have, and it was not on my side. I couldn't, getting a new job. I had to learn every single thing about my job, meeting new people, meeting new friends, trying to
Mhm.
get acclimated to the area. Time management was not my friend, but I learned in that I needed a routine and I need discipline. I don't do well without structure.
Mhm.
But similar as kids, they don't do well without structure. Because think about it, when you're hustling. So for instance, if I'm trying to um, be on time for my 9 to 5, and I'm just gonna say do something for the podcast and
Mhm.
probably do something for my blog, right? If I don't
Mhm.
have time management skills, I'm not gonna be.
Something's
Something's gonna fall. can't do everything, and then got something to do at church and something to do here. Like, you can't do everything. I'm not Superwoman. Also, one thing I noticed is back to Instagram. People will fool you on Instagram, making you think that they're the ones who are doing all the work. Please note, 9 times out of 10, when you see people excel at a high level, they're delegating tasks to people. Like, I got an assistant, I got somebody as a housekeeper, I have somebody cooking my meals. Like, you can't do it all without delegation. So I aspire, to your point, Ciera, I aspire to be able to delegate tasks that I don't like. That's one of my goals.
That's the key. I love it. I love delegating.
I'm talking
but then
about
sometimes,
Instacart. I'm talking about Instacart. I don't want to cook nothing. I don't want to clean nothing. I want to just do whatever my purpose is, do it well, give back, and inspire people. That's all. That's like everything else I can give to somebody else.
That would be nice. That would be life, but
yes,
I feel like I'm gonna be doing all that stuff for a while.
Say that again.
I said I feel like I'll be doing. I said that sounds nice, but I feel like I'll be doing all that stuff for a while. I'm still gonna be going to the grocery store, and I'm still gonna be cooking. I ain't gonna be able to delegate that.
I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or yours, but could be on my side. Well, I don't think my Wi-Fi is doing anything weird. No, good.
I didn't hear anything.
Say that one more time. I think it was your Wi-Fi. Or it was it might have been. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think the Wi-Fi was doing something weird.
Okay.
So you might have to repeat. Sorry.
Okay. So all I was saying is that I feel like I'm going to be doing all of that stuff for a while, like cooking and cleaning. I'm not gonna be able to delegate that, but it would be nice.
No. Okay, yeah. That's true.
Because I don't want to work, so I'm gonna have to cook and clean. Go back to that.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah. No, you don't. You can't get no housekeeper once a month.
I don't think that unless I marry somebody with lots and lots and lots of money, I don't think that I'm going to be having someone coming in the house, cleaning the house, or cooking the meals. Like, I'm gonna want to do that for him. So, at least in the beginning. So,
if you marry me, any guy watching, I will cook. We cook together. That's number one. I've said this before in the podcast, so this is not a surprise. Number two is we're hiring a housekeeper at least once a month to do the deep cleaning that I don't want to do. I'll clean up.
Yeah, but about to say deep cleaning, that's one thing, but you're still gonna have to wash clothes. You're still gonna have to wash dishes and wipe counters and sweep and stuff.
You got a dishwasher, yeah.
You got a sweeper.
They have this fancy new trash can now that you can kind of like sweep. You won't even have to bend down, like the stuff vacuums.
I haven't seen that yet.
There's things they have vacuums that you can just charge. See,
I'm old school. I'm not gonna have no little bot going around, and I got multiple levels, so that means I got to get 3 of them, or have them only do 1 level at a time. Too much. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum. I'm gonna go ahead and clean.
I'll do 1 floor. Okay, you on 1 floor, this one on the next floor. I can get everything else in between. All right. Efficiency is for me. I've learned that the older I get. So another thing is, I talked about time management, a routine, discipline. But you also, this is very important because I've learned this in the past year. You need a hobby. You need an outlet. You cannot hustle and don't do anything fun. Like, you will get burned out quickly. You need some sort of balance. You can't sustain that way. Like, even if it's just doing a crossword puzzle, if you like puzzles, if you take breaks and talk to a friend, something.
You definitely need an outlet. But what if your hustle is your outlet? What if whatever you're doing, like your blog, that would be your outlet and your money maker? So it can be both. If you don't put too much energy into it, where it becomes no longer a passion, more of a burden. You know what I'm
That's the
saying?
key. That's the key. Because sometimes when you are doing something so and you are so passionate about something, it does become a lot of work. So even when I'm doing the blog, I'm like, oh, it's not turning out the way I want to, or I have to do all of this. It's a lot. I didn't know it was as much work to do a blog behind the scenes, to create it from scratch, and it's a lot. And so I'm trying my best to keep my deadline in mind, but I might have to push it back if I'm not finished. And I
Mm-mm.
don't.
Mm-mm. We're not pushing it back.
I'm nervous, so I don't know. I took off some time, so this is also, hey, if anybody watching from my job, but I took off 2 days to work on my blog because, and also get rest because I had done like 12 hours daily for like, I don't know. I think I did like 10 days or something like that into, I don't know. I did a lot of time hours, and it wasn't just me; it was my coworkers. But that I was tired, and then trying to keep up and do other stuff, and I'm like, I need a break. Now, here's the thing: took a break, didn't sleep any, woke up at my normal time, and I was able to. I think I took a class for some blog stuff yesterday and was able to work on some stuff, but I didn't get a ton done because I was trying to focus and make sure I got all the information I needed. Today, I ended up having a unfortunate a death in the family, and so that rocked most of my time. It's life; it happens, and so I'm gonna have to negotiate some of my hours, turn something around, and say, okay, I can only do this something from here to here because the rest of my weekend is going to this because I have a deadline, and you know,
You
gotta
got to set boundaries.
boundaries. Boundaries is hard. Boundaries is one of the things that I think a lot of us struggle with. Sometimes setting them and being clear on your boundaries is important,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not for you. I mean, it's not for other people; it's for you. So
Right.
yeah, setting those and keeping those in mind. And also, I don't have this on my paper because I have a little list here, but I want to say one thing you need to realize when you do like to work a lot is
Mm-hmm.
making sure that, and I forgot my point, so I'm just going to go back to the next thing until I remember my point. It is what I do, and I talked about this on the podcast before, is assessments. And you can do it every 6 months if you want to. You can do it every year, but assess yourself and say, is this thing that I want, this goal, this thing that I want to accomplish, is that still something I want to do right now? Am I happy? Does this bring me joy?
Mm-hmm.
Um, is this beneficial to me right now? Is there some way I can be doing this more efficiently? So just kind of assess and ask friends, ask family members, like, hey, or assess don't only assess your goal in your business, assess yourself too, and say, have I been a good person? Like, how
Mm-hmm.
am I doing? Things like that, because I think that's important. Um, More like
Self-assessments.
work on your character and your spirit more than you do the thing that you're trying to accomplish. Um, which brings me to my next point: prayer and faith. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. Um, I think for me, at least personally, I feel it when I go without prayer and if I go without talking to God. Like, that is the one constant I think I can depend on my whole life, and the one thing that keeps me sane. So note, while you're trying to hustle and you're trying to get it, life is short. Life is
Mm-hmm.
fleeting. And so making sure that you have something that really will sustain you. And those goals won't at the end of the day. So
Amen to
that's
that. That is the truth right there.
yes. And I think that's all of mine. Like, you're gonna need those things if you want to hustle, if you have a goal in mind, if you have a vision, if you want to leave a legacy, if you want to be a well-rounded person. You can take one or two of those. You're gonna need it.
Right. Um, there is one thing that I wanted to bring up,
Okay.
and it deals with hustling and you know, the pandemic. I guess I'll just say that. So I'm
Yes.
pretty sure almost everybody who has social media has come across a post similar to the one I'm about to read. And this one is from Jeremy Haynes. And it says, if you don't come out of the quarantine with either a new skill, starting what you've been putting off for a new business, more knowledge, you didn't ever lack the time, you lacked the discipline.
Mm.
So the thing about what he's saying, and he
I have a couple
posted
thoughts
this
about that.
on April 2nd of 2020. So that was kind of
Mhm.
like a month in
At the
to
beginning.
the craziness, right? And I know he probably meant it as a motivational pitch to get people to get out and, use this time that you're at home quarantining, like wisely, learn
Mhm.
something new. But little did he know, or did he even think about the fact that some people didn't have food in their pantries, some people lost their
Mhm.
jobs, some people who already had anxiety and depression, they're on a thousand now. People who were alcoholics are drinking now.
Mhm.
Like life was flipped upside down. So the encouraging thing that he was trying to do as far as get out there, be motivated, start that new business,
Mhm.
learn that new skill, get that new job. People have lives and there's so much more going on. So it's okay to not have come out of this whole quarantine with the new skill, to
Mhm.
not have a better job than you had before, to still even be unemployed, because look, it's not your fault.
Amen.
It is not your fault you don't have a job right now. It's not your fault you don't have all the money to pay the bills and you're waiting on your stimulus check for real to come through the mail. Like nobody knew this was coming. We're all living through it. We're making it happen. We're getting up every day and doing what we can, even if what you can do is just to sit up in your bed. Like
Mhm.
you are doing something. You ain't got to get, some days we don't want to take a shower. I get it. Just sit up, smile. Maybe you don't even want to smile. Just sit up in your bed.
Mhm.
That's enough. You did one thing today. And don't ever let a post like that, or scrolling on social media and you see somebody in some random country doing this thing, or, oh yeah, I just flipped a house and made $200,000. You should do it too. Not everybody has the money for a down payment to buy a house for $50,000 and put 150 in it and flip it. You know what I'm saying? So that post, I saw a lot of them and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna learn something new. I did. I worked on my cooking skills for me because that's something I wanted to do. But it I could see other people feeling down like they didn't do anything.
Mhm.
All they did was go from their bed to their couch and from their couch to their bed. And
Which
that's okay.
I also want to mention, like, everybody doesn't have the same uh I'm not looking for the word capacity, but that's what's coming into mind. So for instance, I like learning. Everybody doesn't like learning. So if you don't like learning something new, don't. It's okay. Everybody doesn't like reading. Don't read. Everybody doesn't, like
But
you said,
reading is fundamental. So still
reading is
read
fundamental. So
read label on the cereal box or something, because you know you can lose that skill. So when she said don't read, she doesn't mean don't read. She means like don't feel like you got to read all day, but keep that skill, because
right.
we we got people, we got to know how to read. You got to know how to read. Okay,
Yes.
2021.
So reading
I'm just
is
kidding.
no. You're right. So, but what I'm saying is, like, don't feel like you have to, um, whatever you as- don't what your life doesn't have to look like someone else. What I
Right.
said in the beginning of the podcast
Yes.
is, like, if you just want to work your 9 to 5 and don't do nothing else, that's all you got to do.
Amen.
Listen, if it's making you money, it makes sense to me, because
Amen.
that is something that you aspire to do, and so it's fine. Whatever put food in your mouth and in your kids' mouth and in your family's mouth, then do that.
Hmm.
Because I think we're talking about this part, but it's exhausting sometimes to get on social media and see, like, dang, I don't feel like I'm doing nothing. Like, this
Hmm.
person has a whole business making
Hmm.
500,000, $1 million just to be on camera. And here I am. working
Struggling.
my 9 to 5,
Struggling
you
get out the
know,
bed.
struggling. And also, don't make people think you, these little snippets on Instagram, everybody's day does not look like that. It doesn't look the same. When you hear like
No.
the day in my life, stop lying to these people. Your day does not look like that every day. And one thing I wish we can get rid of, and I know this is not what the episode is about, but these perfectly curated pages and perfectly curated lives and perfectly curated pictures. Life is not like that. Like, why are we as a society and a culture so pressed on showing someone a fictitious thing, right? So a part of us
Right.
that is not real. Those I use
Mhm.
filters, I ain't gonna lie, but that's
I
not
wish we
real.
had one for this. I wish our podcast had a filter
I
right.
would too be like, woof, thank you. But
I-
my point in saying that is that a lot of the times we're looking at all these images and these flashes of things in our mind, and it's
Mm,
not real. I'll give you a
mhm.
perfect example. I hate to bring the Housewives of Atlanta into this, child, but if you never lived in Atlanta before, and if you just saw the Housewives, you just assume everybody has money. Like, it's the Black Mecca. People don't live like that.
Mhm.
And half of those people that be on these shows be renting these houses. So
Right.
yeah, just keep in mind, whatever you're doing in life, if it's working for you, it's working. Keep it up.
Mhm. That is very true.
So I just wanted to just talk about like this, because even during, we live in DC. This is one thing I want to bring up too. We live in DC. And when I
Mhm.
say DC is very different from Atlanta in terms of hustle, it's like the first question they ask you here, so what do you do? And the first time it happened to me, I was like, what do you mean what I do?
Mhm.
And then it happened again. And I'm just like, why is everything about my job? I'm so much more than my job, number one. Number two is um, when I first moved here, it was like, go, go, go. You going to your job, then you got to network, then you got to do this, then you got to do that. Like, when can I eat? When can I sleep? When can I breathe? And for me, as an introvert, I need some downtime. I need like a minute to be like, all right, now I can go see people again. Because I can tend to be introverted and extroverted but for the most part, I'm really an introvert. And um I need some time to decompress. And I can't always be like, move here, move there, multitask here, do this, do that. My life looks like that a lot, but once it's like that for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Mhm.
I'm exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually,
Spiritually, all of it.
all of it.
So when you first got here, you said you felt like you were like move, move, move. You had to go
Mhm.
here, do that. What made you feel that you had to do that though?
So it was a couple of different things. One, I had just moved to a new city and I didn't know anybody. And so in Atlanta, to give some context, is I was saving my money, I was working from home. And so I didn't have a lot of friends in Atlanta other than the ones that I had before I moved to Atlanta. I met one new friend in Atlanta. And
Mhm.
so my curated this environment where I was working, 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 working. And that's pretty much all I did in Atlanta. So when I
Mhm.
moved here, I said, I wanted my life to look different, right? I want to have friends and go out and, meet different people. So when I moved here, a lot of my coworkers knew of me through someone else. And so they were like, well, she doesn't have anybody here. So let's invite her to all these places. Then I started meeting people who would start inviting me to all these places. Then I had mutual friends who would invite me to all these places. So now I'm telling everybody, yes, 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 but not even taking the time out to say, no, I'm tired. No,
Mhm.
I don't want to spend no money on no Uber. No, I don't want to spend money going to nobody's happy hour. I want to rest, decompress.
Mhm.
And I was doing a lot at work. So um to answer your question, I felt like at the time I couldn't say no, and still I was unauthentic to myself. That's why I couldn't. That's the point. I was unauthentic to myself. That's why I could not I felt like I had to do all of
Throw
that,
everything and
and
do everything.
instead of being myself and saying, no, that's not what I want to do.
Okay.
So,
Cause I say when I moved here, I know they do always ask the question, what do you do? I feel like that's a way of like sizing you up to see how they can talk to you. Because if you say you're a lawyer, they're going to talk to a different way than if you say I wash dishes in the back of McDonald's. So I
mm-hmm.
think that's part of that whole thing. And yeah, it definitely threw me at first. And I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. And so I now even I'm like, I push papers. Like it's nothing fun. I don't do anything exciting. I buy stuff. That's what I do. That's technically what I do. But I'm not going to tell you the exact job title and the authority I
I
have and
say
all
I work
that.
in
Because,
tech.
huh?
I do work in tech. I say I work in tech. I do. But when I tell people my title, they're like, so what does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell them my title because it's like that's a verse question. So what? So what does that exactly mean? It means I buy
Mm-hmm.
stuff for people. But I don't even think I need to say all that. So I'm just like, oh, I push papers. That's really
But
it.
then there's
Nothing
a follow-up
exciting.
question, right?
No, because sometimes I kind of like try to just steer it to a different place because it's like not a big deal. Whatever I do, it's not going to change who I am and if you're going to like me more or not. It shouldn't at least.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did move up here, I didn't even have a job. So talk about hustle. You know what? Why didn't we start out talking about this? When I first moved here, I lived in Atlanta before I moved here, and I had $200 in my bank account, and
Oh yeah.
I was living in my aunt's basement, and I needed a job because I wanted to get out of her house. So I found a temp agency that was down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Googled it, walked up there, interviewed, whatever, and they started sending me all over DC. Like, Kier, can you go this day? They would call me that same morning. Can you
And you
go?
went?
I did. They called me one time. I remember it was had to been like 5:30, and I used to sleep in even back then. Like 5:30,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, can you go to the Peace Corps in DC and be there by 8? Huh? I don't have a car. I literally just moved here. I had to learn how to use the metro. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. I was like, uh-huh, yeah, sure. Hung up, Google. Try to Google the address. Google, like, I'm very resourceful in that way. My dad taught me that type of
But
stuff.
that is hustling on a
Figured
different
it out.
level. Mm-hmm.
Figured
Figure it out.
figured it out. They would send me to Silver Spring and work at a biotech company. Didn't even know what they
I
were
don't know
doing.
nothing about biotech,
Didn't
but
know nothing that was happening there, but I worked there and it was a very beautiful building. Then they sent me to a land company, a commercial land company, and that's where I ended up getting hired full time. That happened between Thanksgiving and they had me there full time by I think, end of December, beginning of January. And then by April, I was working for the government. But by February, the government's like, hey, can you come? And I'm like, I got a job now. But I made sure wherever they told me they wanted me to go, I went. And I got on the bus, the metro bus, the regular metro train, and hustled my way into a full-time job, only being here a couple months. Was I getting paid a whole lot? Not really. I think it was $12 an hour. This was a long time ago. And that was a blessing. But I saved up that money and I moved out of my aunt's house by March. I lived with her from what's that holiday? Labor Day holiday until the beginning of March. Saved up enough to get out, and from there it's just been like
but even that isn't hustle. Do you know how much it takes to save and to be able to have enough to maintain? Listen,
girl. I know there was times where I called my parents and I was like, "Hey, yo, I'm like $24 in the negative right now," and they're like, "Oh, okay. When do you get paid?" In like 3 days. You'll be fine. What? But I never asked them for money.
mm-hmm.
And if I needed it, they would have given it to me. But they knew I could make it because I didn't need gas. I didn't need food. And I don't know why Bank of America lets you overcharge. That was an issue for me back in the day until I put that
Yeah.
little, but why would you even let me spend $24 more than I
Because
have?
guess what? They're going to charge you an overdraft
Exactly.
fee, and they're
Rude
going to charge
stuff.
you daily. So by
So
the
I
time they finish, you owe me.
Right. So I had to hustle from nothing, literally to nothing, to getting an apartment, getting a second, moving closer to work, buying a car. I bought my first car in May of that next year. I wasn't even here a year. Saved up enough to buy a car, and I mean, what I'm look, and I just bought my first house. So it's like
Congratulations, you ain't tell me about you bought a house, girl.
I did buy a house.
Oh, well,
So
congratulations.
I'm right now, I don't even want to show you. It's kind of embarrassing, but there's boxes all around me. I am packing to move. I told you I was moving.
Mhm.
But
I didn't know you
yeah, I
had
bought
bought
my
a
first house.
house. I thought you were still renting, but yeah.
No, I bought a whole house, boo. So it's
Congratulations.
crazy. Thank you. It's crazy, but to know that that all happened in 2009, and to see where I have gone, and it hasn't been just given to me. It has been hard work. It's been, you know, not long nights at work, because I don't believe in that. I will not work long except for the month of September because the fiscal year ends and I have to. But other than that, you get my 8 hours. Today I work 6. I do what I do when I'm there, but I also make the time for the things that I have to do. Like, I know I'm moving, so I'm not going to work a whole 8 hours today because I know I got to go up to Baltimore and get some boxes, because what I have going on in my house is more important for my health in order for me to be able to do what I need to do for you in the workplace. So yeah, life has been crazy, but I can look back, like I can tell y'all, I don't even know why I didn't even think to tell that
Yeah,
story.
that's
I literally had $200 in my bank account when I left Atlanta.
that's
Crazy.
listen. I want to make a point that hustling is gradual, like you said. You know, I remember having my first when I moved out of my first into my first apartment, my rent was 525, and that included water. I
Hmm.
could listen, you had to make 3 times the rent back then. Didn't even I wasn't making 3 times the rent. And the lady was like, you know what? You seem like a good person, so I'm gonna work with you, and I
Hmm.
think you're good for it. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to get no apartment. But I now I wish my rent now was 525 plus water,
Right.
but but just like working, taking those baby steps and saying, all right, I got this much. I'm gonna aspire to do a little bit more. I'm gonna
Hmm.
change jobs to do a little bit more, and I'm a moving also is an art and a hustle in itself, because I don't think people realize, especially when you move states
Hmm.
and move by yourself, even if you move with someone, it's still a lot that you have to encounter, endure, and it takes you a good year, 2 years to even get settled, really, sometimes longer.
I think my parents gave me my first name because they know I'm a migrator. And so I'm used to just like packing up and going and being okay where I'm at. So it doesn't take me too long to get used to the area. It may take me when I got my second apartment in Maryland. I will say I was nervous sleeping there the first night. So I did sleep in my bedroom with the door locked. And I'll probably do that when I get to the new house. Like that first night, it doesn't feel like home yet. So you're like, well, what if someone breaks in? Just lock the door. But
Mhm.
anywhere else, like I seem to get really used to the area and get comfortable with the surroundings. And I think it's because I always pick the place where I'm living is
Mhm.
comfortable.
Oh, that's good.
Like the neighborhood itself is comfortable. So then I feel like I kind of get acclimated quicker. And then I always use my networks. Like, okay, where's the alumni association in this city? I got to Atlanta. I was like, okay, let me contact the alumni association because Fayetteville State alumni about to help a sister out, help her get a job. Didn't work, didn't get a job, used all my money because I had no money coming in and I had to pay for the hotel. I was staying in hotels, like extended stay. Like I wanted to live in Atlanta and stay down there. And I just was not successful because that's what happens in a recession in 2009. Nobody will hire you. So, yeah, hustle has so many different forms. And when you look back on your own life, you can think about the times where you really did hustle. You really did get up early or stay late, and you
Mhm.
probably didn't think about it as that. I mean, my goal was I'm not living with my aunt no more. Like, I lived in an unfinished basement in the winter, there was no heat. So, I needed a space. I'm getting out. I need a car because I'm taking 3 hours to get to work on the Mark train.
Mhm.
I'm saving this money and getting this car. Am I going to happy hours before that? No, I'm taking myself home and I'm keeping that money because I need a car. Just like you said, you have goals,
Mhm.
but you have to know what to do to make sure you reach them. And they're not just goals that stay out and you just push the
No, they
finish
can
line
be,
further away.
like you said, they can be small, and that's things that you need too, like to your point
Right.
of getting a car or see your goal of buying a house. You set this goal to buy a house, and here you are,
It wasn't even a goal. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't want to do it by
well,
myself.
right, lift your hands right now because
Huh?
it ain't even a goal, but you still
Is it a
accomplished it.
goal? I did. I just fell in love with it when I found it. I really wanted to wait until I had a husband so we can buy something that's like more in the million
You
dollar
ain't
range.
gotta
But
wait.
because I got $1 million taste, and actually 899 was a really beautiful home in Elkridge. I was like, oh, I want it. I got the picture saved on my computer. Um, but yeah, I really, it was never a goal to really buy a house here because I didn't know how long I was gonna stay. And here I am way too many years later and I'm still here. I
Well,
walked in
you
and I was like,
inspired me
ooh.
because I don't know how long I normally get an itch to be like, whew, it's about time for me to leave.
Mhm.
After I've been somewhere for so long, I haven't got that itch yet. I keep telling people, for here, I'm a little comfortable, but it's only so many times you're gonna rent. I've been in my apartment almost 2 years, so I don't know if I'm a want to buy a house or commit to that. But I can at least look if I want to.
That's what got me. Interest rates are low. Just look and see what's online. Okay. Looked. Ooh, that's pretty. Let me go see that. Ooh, let me go ahead and put this offer in and see what happened. That's really what happened. I had no plans. Like
Well, the fact
even
that you had an offer saved enough to
I did have money saved that
save.
was just sitting in the bank for whatever I wanted to do with it. And I was thinking of doing some investing in friends' businesses and
You
some
did say
other
that
stuff.
recently to me, so good thing you didn't.
Yeah. So, and they just sent me the email talking about, oh, this is going to be how much you got to bring the clothes on next week. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. But I did make sure that the house that I purchased was almost everything that I want. So I'm very, very happy.
That's
But
good.
the other thing is that where it's located, I'm comfortable. It's literally right around the corner. And if I ever want to rent it out, it's right next to a military base. It's right in the
Ooh.
heart of where everybody wants to be. So I can rent it out or I can even sell it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't just pick something that, oh, this is nice and it's in the boondocks and it may be harder to sell later.
Mhm.
It's even a corner unit. Everybody wants a corner unit of a townhome. So I made strategic decisions on what I was looking for and where I was looking so that later on it can even be an income thing for me if I decide, hey, I do want to move back to North Carolina and be closer to the peeps. But my house will be up here getting written it out for like $2,500 a month. You know what I'm saying? Make some money. So you hustle any way you want to hustle. I'm selling furniture
Yeah,
right now, making that money where
make
the
some
money
money. Hey,
reside. Where the money reside.
what is that? What is that? Hey.
But yeah, so when you look back on your life, there are markers where you're like, whoa, I really did push hard
Mhm.
to get that. And where did that come from? Who knows? I mean, I know mine came from my parents, like, you know, work hard, grind out. If you want something, you're going to get it. God is going to give it to you, but you can't just be sitting on your back or sitting on your butt thinking it's going to just pop in your lap. So they
It takes
taught me,
action too.
yeah,
Action.
they taught me you got to do what you got to do.
Mhm.
Did I want to get up and go to the Peace Corps? No. Did I even want to get on the metro? Because I had no, like, when I say no idea what was happening, none. And then I had to get off at Farragut North, I think. And then you get off and you're so like, which way do I go? Do I
Mhm.
go out the right exit? I'm pretty sure I went out the wrong exit, had to walk around, find the building, look for the numbers, go to the such and such floor. It was crazy just for $12 an
Child.
hour.
Yes.
And now, what am I doing now? Like, I ain't even gonna tell the people, but I'm not a $12 hour chick no more.
Hey, I'm not a $1 in my bank account chick no more because I remember when I didn't have no money to my name, but here
those
I am. Um,
those things they humble you, right? They
they do. And I wanted to bring up one thing that I did in college. I'm an introvert. I've said that, but I even, when the oh my God, the census came up. Go,
right.
I was going knocking on door to door. It's not something I want to do. It was way out of my comfort zone. But guess who needed money?
You did.
On top of the
Mhm.
work study job, on top of the other job I needed more money to sustain. And I wasn't, to be clear, I wasn't spending my money partying or doing anything. Like all the stuff I was going to was free, child, because I got in free everywhere I went. Free. The money that I needed was for toiletries and necessities and things like that I was using. And I'm thankfully have always been that person to where I make sure I've always had what I need
Mhm.
before I just spent my money on a whole bunch of wants too.
Right. So at your school, did people like give plasma for
Yes.
money?
Oh, I used
Was
to
that
get mad at those people because I'm like, you're going to get plasma every week, give plasma every week, but just to go shopping. I've known
right?
people like that. Oh, I just went shopping in Forever 21. Get their little, oh, another thing that used to make me mad? Here I am working for my work study. Mind you, I didn't say this, but I wasn't getting my work study check. That work study check was going back to the school.
Mm-hmm.
People were getting their little, what's the little money they get back?
Refund.
Refund check.
That refund check.
If I got a refund check, I had to give back to the school. They were getting their refund check. Forever 21. It was going to Zara, like shopping.
The sad thing is that students don't understand. The refund check is you have pulled out a loan more than what your semester is worth. So
You gonna have
yes,
to pay
the
it back
school
eventually.
paid you all that money,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever that your classes are done, your books are paid for, and you get $2,000 more. Fool, do not take that money. I took it the first year because I didn't know. After that, nope. I don't want that.
Cause that little $2,000, that little $1,000, you're gonna be
It's gonna
paying
turn to like
double, triple.
8,000 later. You gotta pay it back, and you're gonna be looking like, why I got so much money that I gotta pay back? Because your crazy self went and got rims. You went over there and got
Not
hoop
rims.
earrings that were real. Like you bought stuff that you didn't even need, liquor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you know what? It's
no one
because
teaches you.
college students, you don't know any better, and so they can get you. And then
Mhm.
guess who? As an adult, a full-grown adult, got to pay for it. You.
Right. Except for if my president come through.
Come on, pay up these student loans.
Like I will take I'll take even 5,000. You ain't gotta do
No,
all
not
of
me. I
them.
went to a private white college, and I need all of my student loans. Let me just say, I need all of them paid off. Every last one of them. It's expensive. I need all of them paid. I owe a lot of student loans. So
Yeah, I don't.
also shout out to my husband one day. That's gonna help me pay off these student loans if Biden doesn't clear them out. Thank you.
Yes. So I luckily don't have too much. So I'll be
You know what? People probably
okay.
watching this podcast and be like, "Oh my God, I would never marry her. She's just too much."
What? Because you got student loans?
No, all the stuff I be saying on the podcast.
They may not want to marry me either because I said I want to be a housewife. So if you're not about that life, then I'm not for you
It's cool.
anyway. So someone out there is gonna want it. They're gonna want me to cook for them and keep the house somewhat clean and take care of the kiddos until I feel like going back to work. But I've been a entrepreneur myself. I've had a small business before where I was selling products. So it's not like I would sit at home and do nothing. Like my mind is very creative. I'm a creative person. I went to school for marketing. Like I like that stuff. So I wouldn't just be sitting at home doing nothing. I would still find a way to bring income into the household. So boo, if you out there, don't worry. We'll be all right. It ain't gonna be just you. But your kids will be safe at home with mommy. They're not going to daycare.
Daycare is expensive.
True that. That's why I'll be at home. But I'm not going to be able to teach them common, what is it, core math, common core math. Yeah, we're not going to learn it that way. We're going to learn it old school way, division, the normal way. Right.
I don't even know what they're learning today. I'll probably be like, "Oh, I gotta
Don't
get
even
you a
look at
tutor."
it.
I'm sorry, because
It's crazy.
did I ever tell you I tried to tutor? So I was very big into probably something someone can pick up about me, volunteering when I was in college. And so though I was stressed out, I would volunteer and do different stuff. Like I did like what's that pregnancy center? I forgot the name of it. I would do
Planned
like,
Parenthood.
yes, literacy. I did a literacy program. But also one of the things that I decided to do was what's this? This might have been after college, though. So right, maybe like right after college or in college,
Mm-hmm.
I decided that I was going to help this young student with chemistry. Now, a little backstory on me and chemistry. Me and chemistry ain't always been the best of friends. Me and chemistry, I hated in college. Me and chemistry, I failed in college and had to take again. But I was like, that's good. I can help. Well, they ain't say chemistry at first. They just said help.
Okay.
So I offered to assist and then found out it was chemistry.
That's
Girl.
when I would have quit.
Oh, no worries. I did. Literally. First of all, it was a a student that they didn't tell me she had like some anger issues and some problems, and the way she was talking back to her mother and acting out, I was just like, first of all, I'm not dealing with that. Number two is they gave me like her sheet in all these chemistry equations. I was like, go ahead and resign today. First of all, I just left college. I'm not about to be stressed out about somebody else's work.
Right.
Goodness. So that
Set
was
that
on me.
boundary.
Gotta set a boundary. That was on me for signing up for something. Trying to be a good person, but yeah, no. So yeah, hustling comes at a price. Hustling is great if you can maintain it. Don't always feel like you have to. Lean on other people, lean on, networks, and
it can be very fruitful for you too. So, I don't want us to sound like, we're kind of downing hustling because it's got all these negative things and we didn't say too many super positive things, but hustle pays off.
I didn't say any positive things about hustling.
I just said one. It pays off.
Right. It pays off. It will. I also said earlier that it wouldn't sometimes, but it 9 times out of 10, hustling does pay off. It might not look like you're gonna make it today, but guarantee one day something will stick.
Right.
It's fulfilling.
Right.
So, it's motivating. It is, I'm about to say the same words in the stream. It's satisfying. It is
character building.
It will help you, your kids, you can leave a better legacy for them because now they can have better because you pushed yourself to do better.
Right.
It can give you a better quality of life. It can give those around you a better quality of life.
It can almost even kind of be a form of self-care.
It's
because of the way that it's fulfilling. Like it can be like, I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing whatever I got to do. And then you see the outcome and it's so positive for you. And you're just like, wow, on to the next. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
And it's good too. Like we said before, sometimes you don't even notice, like, you know how people say like there's threads running through your life with going to the next goal. And that's why I said about that assessment, because sometimes you don't even notice like how far you've come until you sit back and you're like, wow. There's a time when I didn't even think I would live in Maryland. I would have, X amount of money. I would have furniture in my apartment. I'm just naming a whole bunch of stuff. But there's a time when you just aren't there. And to see that I just took one step and then the next step came and then the next step came and then the next step came and it led me to a better life.
That's exactly how it works.
And the fact that I come from a very small town, and when I say very small, I mean like very, very small town where everybody knows everybody. And so I really want, if I can get a message to anybody, it's like to always strive to try to be better. You don't have to make it a lifestyle, but try to be better for the next generation to come. Because with that, I think that we elevate the Black community. We elevate just community, period. Like everybody is elevated by everyone. If you take one step and somebody else take another step and you all take that step together, we can be that much more better as a society and as a whole. And so I challenge everybody to definitely hustle, but hustle smart.
Right.
Hustle smart, hustle well, and I don't know. That's it. That's all I got. But let us know if you missed something.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know about, as you sat here and listened to us, and as we're in the middle of this conversation, we're like, wait a minute, I remember that time I did this. I'm sure as we're talking, we're thinking about our past hustle moments where we were grinding it hard. You probably thought about one too. So leave us a voice note or leave us a message and let us know about your most memorable hustle grind time and how it turned out for you.
Oh my God, I thought about one more point. Remember when I said that I was in college and I had those jobs? Did I mention I didn't have a car? I was
Um,
literally getting rides back and forth to work.
mhm.
Just catch up. People would take me back and forth to work. I was paying out more gas, giving more gas money out than I was bringing in. You know,
Gas money. That was I'm so glad that word is done. I mean, they probably still
yes.
use it in college, but can
You got gas
you got
money?
to give me $5 gas money to take you to Walmart. Walmart, you're going anyway.
Right.
Why am I paying you gas money for the place you're going? I'm just sitting in your backseat with you.
$20 a gas money. But I only got in your car 2 times that week.
I wouldn't pay them that much. Gas done got
Yes. I'm
expensive.
like, it's up the street. And I need
Mm-mm.
this money. I had retail jobs. So I worked at Old Navy and Bath and Body Works. I saved a check that was literally $20
Mm.
for for whatever time that I worked. So I literally took a screenshot of it because I'm like, I'm gonna want to know like how much I've came a long way
I hope
from.
that was only a couple of hours.
I don't know how many. No, 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 no. That probably was for some. That was for probably for a couple of days.
What's minimum wage back in the day? I thought it
It
was
was
at
like
least
seven
six.
fifty, seven something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's got to, I
Plus
mean,
taxes. When you single girl, they take out all the money.
I'm single. I know. I need some bambinos. You know what I'm saying? But no, yeah, I feel like dang. I mean, I can't think of my lowest check, but I don't keep
That was
memories
that
of
was.
that.
I probably got a lower one than that, but that was yeah, wasn't even worth it. I mean, they
Like
could have really
keep that
kept
and
it.
add it to the next one. Like, why are you wasting
Right.
my time?
But I probably needed the $20. You know what I probably did with that $20? That probably was like food over the weekend, a pizza, something. I would go to Little Caesars Pizza, no money, buy a pizza, and pray that it lasts the whole weekend. Just broken college. Don't ask me to go nowhere because I don't have no money. Little Caesar
Be like
pizza
that.
is awful the next day.
I love Little Caesars. I still eat it now. I'm not eating dairy this month, but yeah, I still.
And I also had a roommate at the time that would come and eat my pizza. So I always be like, oh, I hope you know that I don't really have no money. And please don't eat my whole pizza because I'm gonna eat. If you eat this, then I'm just gonna starve for like 2 days. But yeah,
That's when them ramen noodles came in. What was it, 25 cents a pack?
child. Yeah, that's true.
I didn't eat those though in college. I ate broccoli cheddar rice in the dorms. The first 2 years I was in the dorms, and the last 2 years I was in an apartment. But yeah, I was cooking in the dorm though. Macaroni and cheese
We couldn't even cook in the dorm.
in the microwave.
Oh, yeah.
I cooked it in the microwave. And Crystal, who came on our episode,
Mhm.
I don't know if she said out loud, but yeah, she used to come down the hall. I was on one end, she was on the other end, and she wants some broccoli cheddar rice. So you just add water, and it's like 5 minutes in the microwave. Stir it up.
I never thought of things like that in college.
Mhm. Yes, I thought of it all. I cooked any and everything that I could in the microwave, um, because I just wanted to. I didn't want to always have to go to the calf, which I had a meal plan so I could,
Mhm.
but I didn't always want their food. So
Yeah, the food wasn't always that great, but
except for on Wednesdays and Sundays, fried chicken days. But that's HBCU. I know you probably
no,
didn't have
no,
the
we had
same.
fried chicken on Wednesdays.
We had Wednesdays and Sundays,
But I went to a white school.
so
They
it's
used
not
to
the
do
same.
like mahi.
It's not the same.
It's I
Fried
also went
chicken.
to a Christian school and we had like convocation on Wednesdays. It was yeah. So
Okay. Well, yes.
anyway.
I hope this episode on hustle, grind, hustle culture, hustling. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. I hope that it all, resonated with you guys in some way, shape, or form. But also knowing that you don't always have to hustle. You have to take time for yourself and you have to rest. As Ebony said, sleep. So much happens while you're asleep. Your body re-energizes itself. Cells are growing and blossoming, digestion is happening, your body is just recharging, so you need the sleep, you don't need to grind, don't feel like you have to 24/7,
Yes.
but do what you got to do. That's what's going to make you happy and healthy.
Yes. And I'll one last thing I do want to say to maybe some young people watching this: hustle smart and don't pick the fast life if you want to hustle. That is not um take it from people who we could have chosen any lifestyle, right? Though it is hard to do it a legit way, I think it's very necessary to try your best to do what is right, to um, protect your family, your friends, and yourself at the end of the day from certain things that you can go into if you don't properly what's the words I'm looking for, hustle or take the right steps to um and there is no right steps because you always can't do everything the right way, and sometimes you have to make those fast choices. I mean, if it's between me and if I'm going hungry for 5 days and I can just go and I'm just making this up, but if I can go and just take something from the store real quick, I don't steal, but I'm just making a point. And it's in between me and that and eating. Sometimes you have to make those hard decisions. So I'm not discrediting anybody from making those. I'm just saying hustle smart, hustle legitimately. Um, let's push the culture forward, push each other, love, learn, live, all of those good things.
The laugh.
Just, you said what?
I just said laugh because you said learn, love, live, laugh.
Yes, yes, that is a saying. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's all we have for tonight,
Yes.
this episode. All right. Well, we really thank you guys for taking the time out to listen.
Listen, watch, learn a little something. Hopefully you learned something anyway. Hopefully we were able to impart some things on you. And like Ciera said earlier, tell us if we missed anything. Tell us if you have anything that we left out that you might need in order to hustle. We'll love to hear from you. Um, you can find us at the Real Play Podcast on Instagram. You can email us at therealplaypodcast@gmail.com. You can leave us a voice note. The link is in our bio on Instagram. Yeah, so
There's so many ways to get in contact with us.
yeah.
And individually, we both, of course, have our own pages. If you wanted
Mm-hmm.
to reach out to us individually, I am Raven with 2 N's, Raven with Love, and Ebony
I
is
am Ebony D as in David Johnson at G. Oh shoot, that's it. I'm about to say
at.
Gmail. Other information. But yeah,
Right,
so at Ebony D Johnson on Instagram.
right. So we look forward to you guys coming back and hanging out with us next time. All right.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.